Hey everybody, this is Tom with The Board Gamer. Today we're going to do a quick overview and review for this game. If you want the full how-to, go ahead and click this icon up here or the link in the description. Now let's get into it. Marvel Dice Throne is a 2 to 6 player game with an average gameplay length of 20 to 40 minutes for ages 8 and up, published by the OP and Roxley. The basic overview of Marvel Dice Throne has you playing cards and rolling dice to activate special skills on your player board in an attempt to bring your opponent or opponents to 0 and be the last hero standing. I think the worst and most accurate way to describe Marvel Dice Throne is to say it is Magic the Gathering meets Yahtzee. Feels weird in my mouth to say and sounds like an insult, but the gameplay and order of operations matches that. Thankfully though, it looks and plays beautifully. And if you've seen some of my other reviews, you know I'm usually not a fan of games where you're just rolling dice. Thankfully, with the ability to play cards to alter, improve, or hinder both your rolls and your opponents, this makes for a fun and interactive game. Let's take a closer look at this Marvel variant of Dice Throne. To start, I want to go over how much I enjoyed how neatly packaged each character is. They all have their own plastic inserts, bins, or whatever you want to call it, keeping everything together for each individual character. The ability for each player to grab their tray and have everything they need to start playing packed together. Inside each character box, you have the character board, made of thick, durable cardboard, that lists your unique attacks and abilities for your hero. Next, you have your leaflet. On one side has a brief history of your character, complexity level, and definitions for some abilities that may not be straightforward as others. And on the flip side, you have your status effects listed and explained, and a handy little dice key. Now I really want to talk about these dice, but let's save that till the end. You have the tokens for each of your character status effects that are made of good, thick cardboard. Pre-assembled health and combat point wheels made of that same thick cardboard. And a personalized deck of ability upgrades, attack and defense cards for each individual hero. And last but certainly not least, you have 5 beautiful custom 6-sided die for each individual character. These dice, branded with the color scheme of each of their characters and personalized with the symbols and or traits they represent, give them more character than most dice found in other games. These dice made it easy to feel like you were playing as the hero and not just playing a game with the hero's face plastered over the box. If I had to grade this game on its components alone, I would give it an A+. Well, except for maybe the character standees with no stands, that was a bit odd, but not enough to change how I feel about the rest of the components. Now, when discussing ease of play, there is a bit of a learning curve. But if you take each individual phase one step at a time, it will eventually come to you naturally. It also helps if you start with a character that is less complex. For example, Spider-Man or Thor in this set. After playing with each character, you can decide which character matches your playstyle and stick with that one, or play them all to maximize the variety. Personally, I'm a big fan of playing as Loki. Either way, the cards will help you manipulate the cards to make things easier to execute, and the character boards walk you through the steps of each attack. And if you're ever lost, keep your reference card close at hand, and maybe even the turn breakdown page open in the rulebook nearby. It couldn't hurt. I've talked about in other reviews how I'm not the biggest fan of luck-based games. And thankfully, even though the main mechanic of this game is rolling dice, you are almost always able to do something on your turn. It has only come up a couple of times where, given the circumstances, you are not able to do some sort of attack. I would argue this is more of a probability-based game than a luck-based game. You can always try for one thing, but it's always best to judge the probability of getting the result you want with each roll attempt. And of course, adjusting your strategy accordingly. This constant need to adjust one's strategy kept my mind going through the entire game, making it more enjoyable, especially when compared to simple dice rolling games where the options are either success or failure. This kept me engaged and wanting to plan my strategy for my next turn. When talking about the replayability for this box of Marvel Dice Throne that has the 4 characters, I have to say this is where the game falters a bit. Do not misunderstand. The desire to replay the game is there, and I have enjoyed each time I've played it. However, after a while, I think I would want to play more characters, which given the quality of the product will not exactly be cheap. This is an area where I think each person needs to ask themselves if they want a casual dueling game and be happy with just this set, or if they want to have them all and shell out the cash for future Marvel sets and other Dice Throne sets, because they are all compatible. So, I will say, given what is in the box, you have average replayability, but for a cost, you essentially have infinite replayability with what is out there and what I am sure will come out next. We've now come to the part of the review where we talk about the theme and emotional connection this game provides. To start with, the theme is spot on. The Marvel Universe is filled with heroes and villains that constantly duke it out, and giving each character their own set of attacks, dice, cards, and well, everything, makes each character unique and play to their theme and the theme of the game. Having this seamless blend of theme and gameplay allows you to feel connected to the game, so much so you feel as if you're playing as the character. And of course, if you're a huge Marvel fan, this game does not disappoint. It will draw you in and you will enjoy everything it has to offer. I just want to say, if you have ever wanted to play as a Marvel character, this is a pretty good way to do it. This board gamer says, Marvel Dice Throne, roll the winner. Not boring. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.